Okay, so in this tutorial I'm gonna show you how you're gonna check the how you gonna say port, if it's open or not. This is a very good practice to check your server and your IP address. You can be easily attacked. So what port you should never open? You should never open all ports. So I remember like I doing some web development on the new post, and anyway remember the OG one, like you cannot. So what exactly is networking anyway? So if port 8 is open, they can access your this one, your router and your router. The router is connected to your computer. It's gonna see if it's port 8 it's open, and access to your Apache and access your website outside the network. So and your router must be support a one, so port forwarding or something like that. Some router don't support or ISP because they don't want you, because you can easily be hacked anyway if you don't know what you're doing anyway. And some advanced router or basic router anyway don't support this type of feature anyway. So and yeah, so some on house like that, they don't have this type of feature anyway, like you can port forward or open your port of your computer. It's kinda, so I'm gonna show it to you anyway, so how exactly it on router on TP-Link, so like that. And it's okay, you can see my IP address if I disconnected it. And this is about the IP address anyway. So if I disconnected it and connected again, because it's not a, how you gonna say it, you can buy a actual IP address, it will never change your IP address. Like on Google, they buy their own IP address on their ISP. So every time you search on Google, that IP address is absolutely static. It never changed. So this one is a dynamic one anyway. If I disconnect or reset my router, they will give me another IP address, and that's the, and on my personal opinion, you can easily bypass this if you have like API on this one, and they gonna check it if it reset and get the new IP address. So they gonna force you to buy the, because it's so expensive, they gonna give the ISP. And what works gonna being do, if you can just see the IP address or like this and copy that and put it on your Apache, and if it's not working, it's like automation anyway. I'm just saying like that. Like if you're gonna buy like all of this, I'm gonna say the DNS server, like there's so many like tutorial out there. So I'm not the best one on the network anyway. So this is like absolute basic, and I'm just saying on that. So checking your port if it's open or not. You know what? Let's just start it. So we're gonna use the port checker. Use current IP. We're gonna check if it's open or not. It's not open anyway. So HTTPS. So basically we're gonna see this on Apache on this file. Like they're gonna listen on, if you have a domain, have HTTPS. Okay, so nothing is open at this point. DNS, SSH to port 22. Okay, so I'm gonna show it to you now. So what it looks like anyway. So let me pull this out, and we're gonna go on port forwarding. So I already set up this up. So I'm gonna turn it on like that. So if you're gonna go on use your current HP, and we're gonna go to port 80. Let me just port 80. Where is it? HTTP. Check. It's close. You know what? One more time. Okay, so have an interesting. Okay, so because very dumb move. So you need to open the Apache anyway. So let me open the Apache. Okay, so I'm gonna open the Apache. Start it. Okay, it's open anyway, and gonna check. It's open. Boom. That's how you're gonna check your port checker. So if you don't have like Apache running your server, even so, you're gonna see it's weird, right? Like your port 80 it's open if you don't have the Apache thing running on your server. You can easily check what it's open and what it's not on your network or your device. So how are you gonna use it, the check like that. So that's how you're gonna check it. So you can go to your IP address and see your server. So basically, if you have experience on PHP, these things very straightforward. Go to the Apache XAMPP htdocs where the files like, okay, so like that. Hello world, very classic. The first program you're gonna do on your networking is like this, like that, and boom. So yeah, so that's the introduction on networking anyway, and that's how you're gonna check your port. So I'm gonna close the Apache like that. You cannot access it because there's no server running right now. So we're gonna check our port. It's closed. I don't know about these things, like it's closed, but on our router it's open. It's open on this one. You need to close this one anyway. So I'm not sure about this one anyway. If it's, you need to close it all. So it's like checking like port 80 is closed because there's no server is running. So even they check it, there's nothing like transaction happening anyway. So, or maybe because it's open on our router, they can still communicate it with port 80 or something like that. And yeah, like that. Boom. So on the next video, I'm gonna show you how you're gonna do your website to your server or your computer easily. You don't need like config your entire config file on your Apache. Some old tutorial like do that. So we're gonna access it on our phone outside the network, because we're gonna access it on different network anyway, so easily. You know what? See you in the next video.